All right, let's get into a truly epic tale that comes to us from the villages of Banaras. We're talking about a story born from deep tragedy, featuring a terrifying witch and a young man's incredible journey to the icy peaks of the Himalayas, all for one single burning reason: revenge.
But here's the thing you gotta understand right from the start. This story goes way beyond a simple revenge plot. It's really about how this quest completely transforms a boy into a powerful ascetic, forcing him to face not only his enemy, but also the darkness that started growing inside his own soul.
So where does a story like this even begin? Well, funnily enough, it doesn't start with our hero. Nope, it starts with the villain, a seriously powerful witch, a Dayan, who had 7 whole villages living in absolute terror. And get this, the way she held her power was pretty incredible. She had apparently managed to subdue the local protective spirits, the Dibaba, which basically gave her free rein to do whatever she wanted. And believe me, this wasn't just some spooky tale people told their kids. Her power was very real, and she was ruthless, using it for something as petty as a family squabble over an inheritance.
But there was one person who dared to stand in her way. In these villages, you had an Oja, who's kind of like the local shaman or exorcist. And it just so happens, Sarvanand's uncle was that guy. So when this witch puts a curse on some wealthy landowner's son, it's Sarvanand's uncle who steps in and actually breaks it. A heroic move, right? Yeah, but it also basically painted a giant bullseye right on his back.
You can probably guess what happened next. The witch did not take that challenge lightly. Her payback was swift and it was brutal. She sent something called a Peshua. Think of it as a magically guided snake that literally never misses its target. And as he was dying, Sarvanand's uncle used his last words to send his 16-year-old nephew on this impossible quest. This wasn't just about revenge anymore. This was about survival.
So imagine you're this kid, filled with grief and rage, and you've just made this promise to your dying uncle. What do? Well, Sarvanand leaves everything he's ever known and journeys to the remote, icy peaks of the Himalayas. He's looking for the one man who is rumored to be powerful enough to help him, an Aghori named Trijta.
And the closer he gets, the scarier the stories become. Villagers are warning him, hey, turn back. That guy's a cannibal. He eats anyone who gets too close to his home. I mean, can you imagine hearing that? But for Sarvanand, the fire for revenge was burning way hotter than any fear he felt.
So he finally makes it. He finds the Aghori. And what's his first test? Some cool magic spell? Nope. It's a brutal test of pure endurance. To prove he was serious, Trijta ordered him to take care of the ashram and not eat for 11 days. 11! Surviving only on water that he had to haul up the steep mountain himself. Somehow, he passes this insane first test, so Trijta agrees to teach him. But he lays it out plain and simple. He warns him that the spiritual practice, the sadhana, needed to defeat the witch would attack him on every level. It would test his body, his greed, and his lust. Every fiber of his being was about to be challenged.
Okay, so fast forward to the final day of this intense 15-day ritual. Sarvanand is right on the edge of gaining this incredible power. And then, poof, a vision of an unbelievably beautiful celestial woman appears, tempting him to break his focus, his resolve, his entire quest, everything. It was all about to just shatter.
But this is where his guru shows his absolute genius. Just as Sarvanand is about to give in, Trijta sends him a vision, an image of that magical snake, the Peshua that killed his uncle. And just like that, bam! The memory reignites his rage. That white-hot fire for vengeance just completely incinerated the flames of desire. It was the perfect move. He completes the ritual, and the power is finally his.
So now he's got it. He's armed with the immense power of the ancient Sabar Mantra, and he returns to his village. But you have to understand, the boy who left is not the man who's returning. He is now a weapon with one single deadly purpose. And he doesn't sneak around or hide in the shadows. No way! He goes public. He gathers the elders from all 7 villages, points his finger at the Dayan, and accuses her of murder right in front of everybody. And he promises them all he will end her reign of terror.
From the quiet of his own home, Sarvanand unleashed the mantra. And the power he had now, it was on a whole different level. The witch had absolutely no defense against it. And just as he vowed, within 7 days, she was dead, suffering the exact same fate she'd inflicted on so many others.
So, mission accomplished, right? The witch is dead, the villagers are free, revenge is complete. You'd think that's the end of the story, but as Sarvanand was about to find out, his greatest struggle was actually just beginning.
And here is the real kicker. What happens when you summon all this dark, intense power for just one purpose, and then that purpose is fulfilled? Does the power just go away? Not a chance. For Sarvanand, it lingered like a poison in his soul, constantly whispering, tempting him to use it again to cause more harm.
He was losing control. The power was making him irritable, angry all the time. He was on the verge of becoming the very same kind of monster he had just destroyed. The weapon he had worked so hard to forge was now turned against him.
Thankfully, he remembered a final warning from his guru Trijta. He'd been told about an even greater master, a man named Nikhil Swami, who was actually Trijata's own teacher. This was his last hope.
And the effect was just instantaneous. The moment he stepped onto the ashram grounds, the chaotic, violent energy that had been raging inside him simply went quiet. It was like a stormy sea suddenly becoming as smooth as glass. And here, he learned the real lesson. Nikhil Swami taught him that true peace, or Shanti, isn't something you find after a battle is over. It's something you have to build inside yourself by mastering your own mind and your own energy. So, through dedicated practice with a true master, Sarvanand finally did it. He learned how to control that formidable strength he'd acquired. He transformed it from a weapon of pure rage into a tool that a master could wield. He finally achieved dominion over himself.
And that really is the heart of Sarvanand's incredible journey. It makes you ask, doesn't it? Is the greatest enemy the one you can see and fight out in the world? Or is it the one you carry around with you, inside your own heart? Conquering a foe is one thing, but maybe the ultimate victory is conquering the darkness within ourselves.